Hi, I'm Caitlin Jenkins, the family law vlogger, and today's vlog is just a few tips about preparing for remote hearings or virtual court hearings. What we're finding is that during the period of Covid-19, quite a few court hearings are being adjourned, and there's a separate vlog about that, but quite a few are also going ahead. So how should you prepare for those hearings? Well, first of all, check that the hearing is actually going ahead, and you should assume it is going ahead, because what we're finding is, due to pressures on the court staff, hearings are not often being adjourned until 24 or 48 hours before the hearing date. So you should assume it's going ahead, although take steps to contact the court to find out if that's going to be the case. It's also worth checking the time of the hearing, because some hearings are going ahead but are being moved from the original time, so double check what the time's going to be. The next thing you need to check is how the hearing's going ahead if it's a virtual hearing. So most courts are dealing with hearings either on BT Meet on the phone, which is phone calls, or Skype for Business. We have heard situations across our offices of hearings being done by Zoom, but that's up to individual judges. But you should assume that the hearing is going to be on BT Meet or on Skype. So you need to find out from the court which of those is going to be used, and then it's wise to try and practice using them so that you're familiar with the technology. So at the start of the hearing, you're not worrying about how the technology works and whether you can be heard, etc. So it is worth setting that up beforehand and giving it a practice. If you're instructing a solicitor or a barrister, before the hearing you also need to liaise with them about how it's going to work. So are you going to have a pre-meeting? And if so, if you're all in different places, how's that going to happen? Are you going to do it on the same platform as you're going to do the hearing? And you also need to check with the solicitor or with the barrister what preparation they want you to do and how they want you to deal with things on the day. So for example, during a normal court hearing, sometimes a barrister will turn around and ask a client for their instructions on a point, or the solicitor will do the same. How's that going to happen if you're all on a telephone call or if you're all on a Skype for Business call? So you need to check that out with your solicitor and barrister as to how best they expect that to happen so that you're prepared for that. The next thing to think about is practicality. So on the day of the hearing, make sure that if you're using a phone or an iPad or a laptop, that it's fully charged and has enough charge, or you have your charger to hand. Make sure that you've got the lighting set up. So if you tend to sit on a video call with the lighting behind you, then you tend to not be able to see the person's face. So make sure that the lighting is such that they can see you on the video call if that's what's being used. And also think about other practicalities, so particularly around children being around. If this hearing is a hearing that concerns the children, you need to work out how you're going to keep the children away from that hearing so they can't hear what's going on. And likewise, as one judge said to us last week in a catch-up call about various operation of these hearings, if dogs or cats or other noisy animals could be kept out of the way as well, then that's also helpful to help the smooth running of the hearing. A further point just to check in advance, or might actually be dealt with at the start of the hearing, is any protocols relating to the way that that judge wants to run the hearing. So for example, some judges ask, or if you're on a Skype for Business call, will ask everybody to mute unless they're speaking, and will also ask people to put their hand up if they want to say something, just so that you don't have lots of people talking over each other. So either ask your solicitor or barrister if you've got a solicitor, or perhaps ask at the start of the hearing, or the judge will probably make clear, or the magistrates will probably make clear how they want to run that hearing at the start, so be expect to hear that. And finally, as with all court hearings, prepare, understand the issues, talk to your solicitor and barrister about what's expected of you, think through what you want to say. If you haven't got a solicitor and barrister, be prepared. If you've got papers to put into the court, then your solicitor or barrister will deal with that if you're instructing a solicitor or barrister. If you're dealing with papers yourself, then again, check with the court how they want those court papers sent into them by electronic means, and make sure they're concise. The last thing the courts want at the moment is a lot of extra paperwork, even if it's electronic paperwork. So those then are some tips about preparing for a virtual court hearing. There are obviously quite a few virtual court hearings going on at the moment during the pandemic, but I suspect they'll be here to stay, particularly as lockdown is lifted. If it's lifted very gradually, then the courts may well want to keep as many virtual hearings as possible until they can work out ways of dealing with cases in courtrooms, and so they're probably here to come for some time. As always with the Family Law Vlog, this is just general information. If you need advice on your specific circumstances, then you should take advice from a specialist family law solicitor, and my details and those of the rest of the children and family team at Mills & Reeve are at the end of this vlog.